segment, I've got Kirby Kasner, Economic Development Director for the City of Pana. Good morning to you, Kirby. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I am doing well and excited to talk to you today. I believe this is the first time we've got a chance to have a chat here about the City of Pana. And we talked to Kim Toberman quite a few times here, and Kim has let us know and kept me in the loop here. But now I get to talk to you about some of these things that I'm just wondering how much is really on your plate, because what I hear is quite a bit. And the first thing that we kind of wanted to touch on was the downtown redevelopment. That seems to be a big focus, not only for yourself, but just as the city as a whole, just getting that downtown spruced up. And I'm wondering what kind of plans are in place or what kind of things are already starting with downtown redevelopment.
Well, how much time do we have? Because downtown development is a top priority of my list. That was, the main thing that was highlighted to me whenever I was offered this job. And it's just been a huge focus of mine the entire time. I think a lot of people think, we should be seeing like these quick fixes. And, these things just take a lot of time. Sometimes we strike out, here lately, I feel like we've been hitting some home runs. So it's been great. But downtown development, and from my perspective with my job with the City of Pana, is basically taking some of our downtown historic buildings that have had minimal or if none investment here in like the last several decades. A lot of them have sat vacant for years and just have really not been given the attention that they need to serve as a proper retail space for a business. So what I've been doing here lately is just kind of broadening my network and reaching out to different communities and just really identifying and having prolonged conversations with investors and developers about different concepts for these spaces, creating just general architectural plans and budgets for these buildings to kind of see what would be a good fit for an investor to see somewhat of not an immediate return, but a return in the near future on their investment. And just kind of seeing too, like, what is Pana lacking? What does Pana need to continue to grow? And also, what does Pana need to be put on the map for additional tourism? Because these smaller rural communities need those unique aspects to really be recognized by other people to come here. So that's kind of what we do, is just kind of look at a holistic perspective of what the downtown is currently and what we want it to be and the steps that we need to make in order to get to that point.
So that's priority number one, and we've got some other priorities that we'll be talking about as well. But when it comes to downtown redevelopment, you mentioned bringing investors in and having kind of a similar goal in terms of what you'd like to see maybe that space become. For you right now, is there something, if you put on your rose-colored glasses, are there some businesses or there's some services that you kind of have in mind that you're looking to bring to the square?
Oh, absolutely. So our downtown, it lacks a lot of retail and dining establishments. So we really want to tap into those two industries, especially. I think for a healthy rural downtown, you need a good balance of retail, dining, and recreational or entertainment spaces. So I feel like with the two of the projects that the City of Pana has going on right now, we're covering the recreational and event opportunities for downtown. So, we talked about the Pana Plaza project. So that is right in the heart of our downtown area on Locust Street. And what that project consists of is we had a vacant 3-parcel commercial lot in downtown Pana. We've heard from some people, well, just build a new building there and have another space, but it's hard to kind of match the aesthetic of these older brick buildings whenever you build a new building. So we decided to seek and have been approved for grant funding to have an outdoor event space created. So that will be like a communal area for our community members and visitors to go to, watch different performances, and just be entertained with different events there. And then across the street from there, the City of Pana purchased the Roseland Movie Theater. So we, have worked with a nonprofit on, different event coordinations and things of that nature. So we feel that we have that industry tapped into pretty strongly. So now we want to look into retail and dining options for the downtown area, so we can almost um, kind of change the overall culture in our downtown. Right now, it's not very common for people to just walk around and hang out in the downtown area because the space doesn't offer those types of areas to be able to do that. So we're really hoping by tapping into retail and dining establishments that we can, add that to our entertainment and event spaces and really have a very popular, attractive, and welcoming downtown area.
I love it for multiple reasons. One, not building a new building that just kind of
Mm-hmm.
looks like an eyesore. I've seen it
Yeah.
before where all of a sudden kind of too modern of a building comes into an area that is just not modern enough for it, and it just doesn't look right. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And I think you've got to start somewhere when it comes to redeveloping that downtown. So if you're bringing the entertainment, then all of a sudden people are flocking to the square. It makes it that much more attractive for prospective businesses or investors to want to come in. So I'm wondering,
Absolutely.
has that kind of been the plan? Like, look, we got to get people to the downtown, then we can sell it. Has that kind of been your starting point?
Yeah. So it's, we've met a lot of great people along the way in doing this. A lot of people who have experience in, just kind of reinventing the wheel in these smaller rural communities that have really served as great guidance for us, like in kind of understanding what would work, what wouldn't work, what do we really need to look into, what haven't we thought of yet. And a lot of things that we're hearing is creating livable space in our downtown area too. So a lot of our older buildings, they're typically 2-story buildings. And, the overall thought is we need to get people living in the downtown area. It's a relatively new concept. I know that, back in the day that was quite common, for people to live in the second stories of these buildings, but it's not been very common in today's terms. So we really want to try and look into that. And that doesn't necessarily mean like long-term residential areas, but also, we're looking at, Airbnb options and just short-term rental space. Whenever we have somebody that comes in town and wants to play in an event down in the plaza, they'll have space that they can stay in, right across the street, so just looking at different options like that. But we've really been introduced to some amazing modernized kinds of concepts that I think will really be a slam dunk in downtown Pana.
And that's what you got to do. You got to pick and choose, and you got to learn from others too, and get that opportunity to just kind of see what's working and what's not. And I can appreciate as well that you're taking the time to hear those folks out and just get another bit of ideas and be able to maybe implement those as well. Let's go back to the People's Plaza if we could for just one moment. I don't know if that space is something that you're thinking by the end of this year, maybe even fall, or are we thinking is that something maybe bring that around maybe next summer, kind of unveil it then? When is there a timeline potentially for that People's Plaza?
Correct. And a lot of people in the community are asking that question because originally our unveiling date for that was going to be the beginning of this August. Obviously, that's not going to happen now. But I do want to, for anybody who's listening from Pana and curious about this project, reassure them we do have the grant funding in place. All of the funding for this project has been secured. The problem with it, and if anybody's been in downtown Pana recently has noticed, we have had some issues with the buildings on both sides of where the plaza project is supposed to go. Just one of those things that you just can't, it's inevitable sometimes. It's just going to happen. So what we've done is we've formally requested an extension of the deadline of the project with the grant agencies that we've been working with, and we've been awarded those extensions. So now the plan is for hopefully late spring, early summer of 2026. So next year we should really be seeing some movement. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that was unfortunate, but they happen. But yes, we do have all the funding secured. We have the architectural renderings created, and we have a vision for how we see that space serving the community in the near future.
And thank you, Kirby, for giving us that timeline as well. Sometimes it's just nice to hear that, hey, we've got it all in place. We need it still. Would just give us a little more time, and just hearing it straight from the source, we'll say, really helps, I think, in that regard as well. You mentioned grant funding there, and that's not the only thing that we're building with our grant funding as well. You'd mentioned some things to me before we got our start. What are some of those additional things that we've piled grants on and plan to get some work underdone?
Yes, we've secured a lot of grant funding over the last several years. We're close to $6 million in grant funding over the last 3.5 years. So we've been very fortunate in that regard. But I think it just goes to show too how many needs our community has as well. Whenever you don't have anybody who's writing grants for your community, and the problems don't go away, they just continue to add up. So a lot of the grant funds that we've been applying for and have been formally awarded for, a lot of them are water line projects, which is great because we have a lot of aged and antiquated water lines in our community. So it's awesome that we're going to be able to address that. But we were awarded a grant through the state of Illinois, through the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, for water lines for about, I think we're at 9 blocks in the downtown area where we will have complete water line replacements. Another huge one for anybody who's familiar with the layout of Pana, our water treatment facility is out by the lake. So we have what's called the transmission main, which runs down 6th Street, and it's the vital artery for the entire community's water supply. And that water main is extremely old and needs to be replaced. And anytime we have a break in that line, it's catastrophic for our community. I mean, it shuts down the water supply for our entire town. And we were given a substantial grant award to have that entire main replaced. So that's a huge deal for us. I believe that project should be starting probably next spring. That's the thing too, that I wish that more people kind of understood, and I'm still understanding myself. Just because you're told you were awarded a grant doesn't mean you can start on the project the very next day. So it really takes some time to get all of the planning and grant agreement documents in place before you can officially start those projects, but they are in the works. So
patience is key. The planning is underway. And for you, again, I can't help but think, one, it's a benefit to the residents, but two folks that are interested in investing in the downtown or interested in becoming a part of the Pana community. And so these things all very important, and thank you for sharing them. Kirby, let's take ourselves a break. We knocked out 12 minutes already, so we'll be coming back in just one moment. But I've got Kirby Kasner, Economic Development Director for the City of Pana, joining us here today. We've talked downtown redevelopment, grant funding for not only water lines, but the People's Plaza, and we'll get to much more when we return. You're listening to WTIM and our Pana Morning Show.
WTIM. This is Mason Crow with People's Bank and Trust, where customers have one consumer banker who knows them and provides the right financial services to achieve their financial goals. Your consumer banker is your single source for life's financial needs, from checking to consumer loans, from retirement accounts to mortgage loans, and everything in between. Call me at 888-PBT-1954. Bank with People's Bank and Trust so you can spend your time living your life, not explaining it. At People's Bank and Trust, we put people first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm Lee Stokes with Bob Writings in Pana. I want to thank everybody for coming out last month to our Employee Plus event.
And I'm Chad Armstrong. We'd like to keep the momentum going strong with our July summer sales event going on right now at Bob Writings in Pana. We'd also like to invite you out Saturday, July 26th, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. to the Popcorn Festival, where we're sponsoring the Jeep and Car Show at Kitchell Park in Pana. Remember, cars and trucks are like eggs. They're cheaper in the country.
Hey DQ fans, get big summer flavor in every bite of the new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu, featuring new mixing bowl mashup made with brownie batter, chocolate chip cookie dough pieces, and world famous DQ soft serve. Not to mention the new dip strawberry cheesecake Blizzard Treat and more. Make this summer sweeter than ever with the new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu for a limited time only right now at DQ. Happy tastes good at participating locations: 100 South Oak in Nokomis and 333 West 2nd Street in Pana.
Looking for food, fun, and bowling? Head to Pana Bowl. We've got open bowling every Friday and Saturday night, perfect for family fun or a night out with friends. Don't miss our Tuesday and Wednesday special, unlimited bowling from 5 to 10 p.m. for just $9. Feeling hungry? Our kitchen's cooking up favorites Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit PanaBowl.net or like us on Facebook for the latest deals and events. Pana Bowl, where the good times roll.
Summer's heating up, and so is your grill. Stop by Oconee Chop Shop, your local USDA butcher shop right off Highway 51 in Oconee, Illinois. We've got premium cuts of beef, pork, and chicken, plus barbecue sauces, cheeses, eggs, sodas, and more. Need custom meat processing? Bring in your own animal, and we'll handle it start to finish. We also do custom deer processing October through January. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 1. Find us on Facebook or at OkoneeChopShop.com.
Kimmer Village Inc. is hiring. This is Shawless Nagel, Executive Director with Kimmer Village Inc. We are excited about our growth and want you to join our team. We offer a variety of positions at great wages with excellent benefits. Visit kimmervillage.org and click Join Our Team to find out about our openings, or call Amanda McKay at 217-226-4451. Join us for a well-paid, fulfilling job close to home.
Your information station, WTIM.
More of the WTIM Pana Morning Show here on your information station. We're brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Your Pana Save-A-Lot, Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Riding's Pana, the Nokomis Dairy Queen, Pana Bowl, and the Oconee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Our guest in this segment, I've got Kirby Kasner, and Kirby is the Economic Development Director for the City of Pana. We talked quite a bit about downtown redevelopment, grant funding, and where that's going. But we also want to talk about something that just took place this last weekend, and that was the Pana Popcorn Festival. Kirby, from your end and how you see it, how does that kind of build on everything that we're already talking about here and bringing some spice or getting some additional eyes back on the city of Pana? How does something like the Pana Popcorn Festival help in that?
The Pana Popcorn Festival is how I feel it is the exact example of what we are trying to accomplish in Pana overall. And that's just not only bringing our community together, but welcoming visitors from outside of our community and showing them what Pana is all about. And I think the Popcorn Festival just has been amazing at showing that. The Pana Popcorn Festival is put on by Pana Parks Revitalization Committee, nonprofit organization comprised of all volunteers who are just very passionate about the parks in the city of Pana. And so this is the second year that they've done the Popcorn Festival. And I still think that the community is completely amazed at the amount of people that show up to support this event. You know, you can work the hardest you can work on a project. You can reach out to as many supporters and vendors and sponsors to these types of events, but you just truly never know what you're going to get. And they have really, really made a successful event for Pana. I'm curious to see what the numbers are in visitors that we had this year and compare it to last year. But I know last year we had over 3,000 visitors to Pana for this event. So it was just amazing. I do not serve on that board for that organization, but I did host one of the events at the Pana Popcorn Festival. I do the dog show, which is a blast and brings a lot of people down to the park. But I mean, I know that I saw a huge increase in vendors that were there, food trucks that were there. They have a very successful sand volleyball tournament, which is very fun to watch. Pana Pride, which is another local nonprofit organization. They get the whole island area around our pond in the Kitchell Park, and they put like a Captain Kitchell like little adventure area for little kids over there, and a lot of activities. There's a car show. There's a popcorn princess pageant that they have, and music, live music. It's just a really good time, and they did a fantastic job with it. So kudos to them for that.
And to me, I'm right there with you, Kirby. It's an example and really one of the best examples of how an event like the Pana Popcorn Festival can be such a benefit to the community. We are going to have to wrap things up here, but Kirby, thank you so much for your time here today.
Absolutely. Anytime.
You've got it. Hopefully we'll hear from you soon.
Thanks for having me.
You've got it.
Absolutely.
Kirby Kasner, Economic Development Director with the City of Pana here on the WTIM Pana Morning Show, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust.
Your information station, WTIM.